Hey guys, Carl from Athletes Authority here, and in this week's free training, I'm going to help you solve more meaningful problems for your clients. So I've noticed something in the industry that is really impacting our ability to make an impact. I want to run you through that today and run you through the solution that I've created so you can actually make a bigger impact with your clients, you can retain a better relationship with them, and you can actually get more meaningful results. So what is this problem? Well, the problem is this. Most coaches, trainers, and consultants right now are putting together packages and solutions to solve clients' external problems. So let me say that again. Coaches, trainers, and consultants are putting together solutions to external problems. And so why is that a problem? Well, buying psychology will tell us that people don't buy because of the external problem that they want solved. They buy because they have an internal and a psychosocial problem that they want solved. While I'm going to go into detail about what those things mean, I want you to just keep a nice broad perspective that the biggest problem for the industry right now is that we're all trying to do the same thing, which is solve external problems with external solutions. So what does this mean for you as a coach, trainer, or consultant? Well, it leads to always the same thing. If you're solving a superficial problem, you can only ever be perceived with superficial value. And why is that a problem? Well, if you're getting perceived through a superficial lens, you can never really charge a premium for it because everyone is doing it. And what you end up happening is you end up competing on price because you're solving superficial and external problems. And what we really want to be doing is solving meaningful, deep problems that actually get the result the clients are after. So when a client comes to you and say they want to lose weight, that is the perfect example of an external problem. Why? Because it's observable. People can see that they're fat and they can't deny it, so they're happy to talk about it. But if you dig a layer deeper, you're going to find that actually how they feel is that they lack confidence in public. Maybe they feel like they can't take their shirt off at the beach. Maybe they feel like they could never buy a bikini. And if you dig deeper again, you're going to find that that same person who said they want to lose weight, who is asking for a solution to that external problem, actually feels like, I'm not sure if I fit into society. I fear being judged. I fear failure. I fear maybe not being loved. These are the psychosocial problems that people experience that they actually want solved, but no one is willing to talk about. So if you want to differentiate yourself from the rest of the industry who are solving the superficial external problems, you need to understand buying behavior, understand buying psychology, and start solving internal and psychosocial problems instead, with solutions that get the result. So in the next slide, I'm going to actually take you through the solution, how to identify this with your clients, give you an example of each one, and then teach you how you can apply it straight away in your business so you can connect with your clients more effectively. You can convert them into paying customers because you're solving really quality solutions or quality problems with meaningful solutions. And finally, actually get the results so they stay a customer for a long time. Here we go. So let's go into detail about the solution and the problems pyramid. So the problems pyramid I put together as a result of needing to find a way to model or express the 3 layers of problems that people have. And I came up with this. And obviously, if you think about a pyramid and the area within the pyramid, the external problem reflects or represents about 10% of the overall area of the pyramid. The internal probably represents around 30% of the problem of the area, and the psychosocial problem represents the other 60%. If we look at kind of how that manifests and translates, you can see that the external problem is what we can all see. It's what people are happy to talk about because it's really undeniable. You can't deny the fact that someone's 40 kilos overweight, and you can't deny the fact that if they can't move the bar, they're not really that strong. You can't deny that they probably look weak or whatever it might be. So let's dig deep on the problems pyramid. This is a pyramid that I came up with, or a model that I came up with to help better demonstrate the 3 layers of problems that a client has or a customer has, and helps better explain the buying psychology behind a purchase decision. So if you want to be the coach that actually gets them to take action because you can solve internal and psychosocial problems that they have, rather than just competing with the rest of the crowd who solves the external problem, you're going to notice that you stand out and you make a much bigger impact. So let's kind of go into detail here on what each of these areas are, give an example of each, and then maybe jump into how you could apply this straight away. So let's say we're going to use the example, we've all probably had a weight loss client, so it's a probably really simple thing to use. So the external problem in this case is that they are overweight. And it's something we can all observe, we can all see the external problem, and it's really hard to deny. So people are more than happy to talk about it. So this client comes to you and say, hey, I'm 25 kilos overweight, I'm 30 kilos overweight, I need to do something about that. So what you do sitting on the other side of the table is you go, well, I'm going to put together a macro plan, I'm going to get you training, I'm going to get you steps up. And we start to solve the external problem with an external solution. But there's a problem in that, because the external problem actually only reflects about 10% of the whole problem that they experience. The rest of it is made up of the internal and the psychosocial problems that they have. So going back to this example, let's say they want to lose 25 or 30 kilos of fat. Well, why is that? Well, it's because they don't feel confident in public anymore. They don't feel like they can take their clothes off at the beach. They don't feel like they could ever buy a bikini. And this is a much more compelling problem that motivates people to want to take action. But unless you talk about it and identify that as their problem, then they're much less likely to do it and come to you openly and say, the real issue I have is that I haven't bought a bikini in 10 years and I'm embarrassed about that, and my young kids want to go to the beach and I avoid it because I can't wear one. So the internal problem is a lot more compelling, and this probably represents about 30% of the whole problem that someone or a client might have. But there's a level that goes deeper again, the third layer of someone's problem, and it's what we call a psychosocial problem. Now this actually represents around 60% of the total problem, and it relates to how they feel as a part of society. So when it really boils down to it, someone who's overweight, who lacks confidence, who doesn't want to take their clothes off the beach, actually fears getting judged by society. They actually feel that they're a failure. They actually feel that they might not be able to be loved. So these types of psychosocial problems that relate to how they kind of are involved in society, they relate to how they fit in, they relate to their connectedness of a tribe, is really the main problem that they want solved. So if you could actually solve that problem for this weight loss client and say, hey, I'm actually going to allow you to feel like you don't need to be judged, I'm going to allow you to not fear failure, I'm going to allow you to feel like you can be loved and you can have self-love. These are the types of psychosocial solutions that you want to communicate in your messaging and in your solution. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, because if you can solve the psychosocial problems and the internal problems that your client has, you're going to be able to charge a premium for it, which is good because you deserve to make money. But B, you're going to differentiate yourself from the rest of the market who are caught up trading out their macro plans and their dieting plans and their programs because they're playing in the superficial level up here. So if you can do that and understand that, you're going to make a bigger impact, and hopefully the ultimate goal is for you to create a career as a coach. So let's use another example so this really kind of ties in. Let's use a coach as an example. Your external problem is probably one of two things. One, you don't have enough clients, so you're not making enough money and people can see that. Or two, maybe you're fully booked and you don't know what to do next and you're burnt out and you're tired. That's the external problem that people can see. The internal is slightly more compelling. The internal is, well, I don't actually know what I'm going to do about this. I don't know how I'm going to get ahead. I don't know how I'm going to become an industry leader. I don't know how I'm going to be a coach that makes more money, makes a bigger impact, etc. And then psychosocially, you worry that if you don't get it right, this career is going to fall short, that you're going to have to go back to your 9 to 5, that you're going to have to try something else, that you're going to have to sell yourself out. And if coach mentors helped people with their psychosocial problems a bit better and their internal problems with solutions that allowed them to make more money, do more of what they love, and get more inbound opportunities, we'd probably find that mentors do a better job. So this is kind of the idea that I want to communicate with you today, and now I want to help you do this in your own business. So this is what you need to do. I want you to get clear on just one client that you may have helped who's had a radical transformation. And I want you to get super clear on what the external problem that they had is. And that should be really easy because you've probably spoken about it before and you've probably solved that problem. But then I want you to dig deeper. I want you to ask yourself, what internal problems did I solve for that client by taking them through this journey of transformation? And it's probably around confidence and perception and all those types of things. And then I want you to dig deeper again. I want you to look at, well, how did that impact how they fitted into society? Did they maybe change their social groups? Did they do things different? Did they look at the world a different way? Did they get a career kind of promotion because they finally felt like they could fit in? Whatever it might be, I want you to dig and peel back those layers so you can better understand what your client actually wants. If you can do that, I promise you that you're going to have an easier job in that sales process to communicate what you can do for them more effectively, and hopefully increase your conversion rate so you can help more people and make a bigger impact. So if you want to kind of do this in detail, click the button down below and we're going to put together a little ebook for you that will help you do this for your clients in a little bit of a blueprint. And expect that by around Friday or Saturday of this week. Now, if you're watching this in advance in a few weeks' time, then I'll make sure that the ebook is part of a download link that we give to you in the video. So I hope you enjoyed this week's training. This is called the Problems Pyramid, and the fundamental thing is to make sure you don't just solve the external problem with an external solution, but you dig deeper and look at the internal and psychosocial problems so you can make a bigger impact and get a better result. Enjoy this week. Have a great one. See you next week.